Okay, so I've spent the last 2 days just mulling over TTC stories on YouTube. So I thought, since I am currently trying to conceive or TTCing, that I would make a video of my own. It's a really sensitive topic. It's, like a lot of women explain online, very lonely place, and perhaps misery loves company, or just hearing all of these stories makes me feel not so lonely. So thank you everyone for sharing all of your stories and opening yourself up to that, because it is a very fragile subject. I got off birth control maybe February or March, beginning of, spring, thinking, oh, we'll get pregnant so fast. And so I was very careful for the first few months. And around July, I was like, why hasn't this happened yet? We were being careful, but we were still having unprotected sex. So talked to one of my good buddies who was very open about her journey in trying to conceive. And she said, do you have some type of, way to track your fertility? Because, when are you ovulating? Do you know when you're supposed to be having sex? I had no idea what she was talking about. I'm embarrassed to admit this, but I thought pregnancy happened right before your period. I thought your period was shedding of the uterine lining because you didn't get pregnant. So I thought your most fertile time was right before your period. So she told me to download the app Flow, which I have been using faithfully since she told me that in June. And then I found out my most fertile days are about 12 days after my period. So now I'm having sex at the right time. It's now October, still no pregnancies. So I guess we've been trying August, September, October, about 3 months now. And this month I'm trying a fertility monitoring system. I just got the Clear Blue 20 test strips with a digital monitor off Amazon for like $30. Hopefully that increases our chances. I have been on a prenatal vitamin for about a year now with folic acid. I think it has like 400 milligrams of folic acid. So tracking my ovulation, which is exactly 28 days. Now I'm going to be testing my ovulation with the fertility monitor. I haven't done the whole basal temperature mucus testing. I guess that will be for next month. But I've learned a lot about my body, which is kind of exciting and makes me realize that in your 30s, I'm 35, I'm going to be 36 in February, it's not just so easy to get pregnant. And that's a very almost scary idea. I thought, when I'm ready, I'll have a kid. And in the 21st century, birth control is just too good, and I was never ready. And now that I'm 35 and I'm finally ready, it's harder than I thought it would be. So I guess send some baby dust my way, and I really appreciate all of the TTC videos because it's made me stronger and smarter and feel less lonely in this lonely adventure. Okay, update on my TTC journey. I started fertility monitoring, and although the Flow app said that I would ovulate on day 12, the fertility monitoring system showed that I ovulate on day 9. So, once again, although we try to have sex 2 or 3 times a week, really having sex at the right time, if we want to do this soon, is really important. So This month in October, we tracked my fertility with the Flow app and with a fertility monitoring system. Found out it was day 9, so we actually had a flight booked that morning. Tested my fertility, it showed out positive, and I was like, oh, okay, before we go to the airport, we need to have sex. My husband's like, you're crazy. No, I'm not crazy. This is science. We really need to do this today. And we had luckily had sex like the 2 days, the day before and the day before that. So I think we have pretty good chances this month. It's now November, and I'm supposed to start my period in like 5 days. Took a pregnancy test, it's negative. But I have been having a lot of cramping today, and I fell asleep on the couch with a heated blanket, and I woke up with like really bad cramps. What the hell's going on? So did a little research. Apparently you're not supposed to use heated blankets if you're trying to conceive. I didn't know that. So I don't know. There's so many things you're not supposed to do, and I get overwhelmed with it. I'm down to 1 cup of coffee a day, which I'm pretty proud of myself. I don't drink any alcohol. Very proud of myself for that. I'm taking pregnancy tests every day, about 7 days before my period. And then I took one on the 6th day before my period, and today's 5 days to my period. And they're all negative, and it's just depressing. One thing I have done, though, is really incorporate my husband in a lot of this, and he's like, stop freaking out about it, stop freaking out about it, stop freaking out about it. And then, I started having him look at the negative results, and now he's like, every morning he's like, did you take your pregnancy test? What did it say? So I don't think it's just a female thing. I think we've been keeping this to ourselves, and I really want to incorporate him in this madness, because it, as I said in my last video, is a lonely journey, and I'm sick of being lonely, so he can have some of the stress dealing with it as well. And he's pretty strong mentally. Some women are afraid to kind of stress their husbands out because maybe they want to take on the burden themselves, but I need his support. I'm not strong enough to do this on my own. It's really stressful. I've also been talking to a lot of girls at work. One girl is about 10 weeks pregnant, I think 11 weeks now or something, and she's doing fabulous, and I'm so excited for her, but I'm also really jealous. Every time she talks about her symptoms, I'm like, I'm excited for you, but I'm so jealous. Another girl has gone through fertility treatments. I'm not quite sure what it's called, but it's not like an embryo, it's just sperm, and then she takes a lot of fertility drugs. And she just went through a treatment last month, and it failed. And I just feel so awful for her. And then, she's probably jealous of me and my husband that we're just trying naturally, and we're only on like month 3. So whatever stage of this journey you're in, I would give one piece of advice to not keep it to yourself. That has really helped my mental health, is to talk to my husband, talk to friends at work, talk to my mom, talk to my sisters. So, I guess I'll make an update by Sunday if a pregnancy test comes back positive, or if I start my period Sunday. Oh, and I do have a rule. I am allowed to have a glass of wine a night on my period. So 4 days out of the month, I can have a glass of wine. And that's actually really good for me. Makes me drink less, and I know I'm not pregnant if I'm having my period, hopefully. But good luck in your journeys, and thanks for letting me share this with you. Okay, just a quick update on my TTC journey. I'm going to start my period in about 4 days. So I took a pregnancy test this morning, and I'm pretty sure I saw a faint line. My husband looked at it too, and he first looked at it. He's like, nope, it's negative. And sets it down. I picked it up and I'm like, no, there's something there. Look at it. And he's like, yeah, but that's so faint. That doesn't count. I'm like, no, that counts. Like any faint line counts. And so he went and grabbed his phone rather than look at the stick. And then he like gets all big eyes. Like, you're right. If it's even a tiny faint line, it counts. So I'm going to take one again tomorrow morning, but we have to be on a plane. We have to leave here at like 5:30 in the morning, so I probably won't have time to make a video tomorrow. But the only way I could really get the really, really faint line that I could barely see to show up on media is if I recorded it. So I'll insert that clip here. And it's not that we travel a lot, because I know I told you the last time that my ovulation kit came out positive. We were heading to Utah. That's because my family lives in Utah. And then tomorrow we're heading to Texas. Luke's family lives in Texas, and we're all going to meet there. So we, it's the holidays. We're doing a lot of family stuff this time of year. But it's kind of fun to be around family. I'm just really trying to decide what we say to them. Like, hey, I have a really, really super faint line on a pregnancy test, guys. No. But, the same dilemma as before, just keeping this journey all to yourself and not sharing with people that you love and trust isn't an option either. But I know that a very faint line, 3 or 4 or 5, what day is it? Days before my period, could end in no pregnancy at all. 4 days before my period. So telling people and getting their hopes up and getting them excited, and then, something happens. I was reading today that 1/4 of women over 35 have miscarriages. That's huge. In the first 6 weeks, have miscarriages. So I would be at week 3 tomorrow, and I already feel like pregnant. I already feel attached. One quick thing, my husband just pulled up. A couple nights ago, I got the worst cramps, and they were like radiating up to my head and making me feel like dizzy as I was trying to sleep. They felt like period cramps, and I would turn to one side, they'd go to that side, I'd turn to the other side, they'd go to that side, but they would like radiate up to my head and just make my world feel fuzzy. I don't know if those were implantation cramps, but they hurt. So that's my experience with implantation cramps, unless it's a tubal pregnancy, and that's maybe why it hurts so bad. Or I'm a baby. I don't know. But thanks for listening. Okay, TTC video update. I am now 9 weeks pregnant. I had my 8-week ultrasound last week. Everything looked good. My husband came to the ultrasound, which was really cool. It was a little awkward though. Like, they put this huge dildo looking thing to get a vaginal ultrasound. And so it's a little awkward having my husband there. I mean, my gyno has put all kinds of things in my body, but my husband's never been there for it, so it was a little strange. But like, as soon as she put it in, you could see the baby right away. Huge head. You could see the umbilical cord. It was pretty exciting. My husband like jumped out of his seat and ran over. He's like, "Oh my god, that's it!" It was really exciting. But I haven't made any videos. I guess it's now pregnancy update videos. I haven't made any videos because I have been absolutely miserable. I can't even get off the couch to brush my teeth some days. I mean, I'm still working full time, but I've been taking vitamin B6 on days that I work, like 50 milligrams in the morning. My doctor said that's okay. But I just eat Triscuits. I really like the rosemary olive oil Triscuits. I've actually lost 5 pounds because I just can't eat anything I can't even tolerate the thought of meat. Even thinking about it makes me nauseated. I haven't actually thrown up because I've just been really consistent eating Triscuits and, keeping something solid in my stomach. And I've been drinking a lot of water, which I've heard helps. But I just feel so apathetic and nauseated and drained. Been having insomnia. I wake up at 2 a.m. almost every day. And I just lay there in my bed, bored out of my mind, but exhausted. So, at 9 weeks now, I'm hoping I feel like it's starting to kind of go down. Exercise helps, I guess, going on walks, trying to stay, active in some way. I try to walk about 4 miles on days that I don't work. I only work 3 days a week. But yeah, it's really hard to even get excited about the thought of a new baby or, the life change when these hormones just make me feel so terrible all the time. So that's it so far. Pretty exciting getting the 8-week ultrasound, because I know after a fetal heart rate is detected, chances of miscarry go down. I did tell my mom, and my husband told his family, and then we're sending out Christmas cards, because Christmas is in about 2 weeks, so we're sending out some Christmas cards for the family, just kind of announcing, new hiking buddy in the family. So that's pretty exciting. I haven't told my boss yet. A couple girls at work know. They kind of figured it out pretty quickly because I look miserable all the time, and I'm normally a very upbeat, happy person. So I think they figured out pretty quickly that something was wrong or something was off. But I haven't told my boss. So I'm waiting to tell him until I'm I don't know, maybe 12 weeks. Might tell him sooner. I have a couple job, occupational hazards that I've had to avoid, but most of the charge nurses at my work know, so it's been pretty easy to avoid. But if I told my boss, I think it would be even easier to not be assigned to patients with, shingles or tuberculosis or the big scary ones for pregnant people. But I hope this nausea starts to subside soon, because I've heard some women have the nausea. My sister-in-law was just miserable her entire pregnancy, all 3 trimesters, and I don't know how I can get anything done. My husband's been amazing, cooking dinners, cleaning the house, and I've really been slacking it for the past 5 weeks. So I'll try to make more updates once I start feeling a little better. Okay, pregnancy update. Week 12, I had my 12-week ultrasound today. They looked at, some measurement of the neck that can tell you more about genetic abnormalities. There's the neck gets really thick if they have specific Down syndrome or heart abnormalities or something like that. Their neck will be really thick. I don't know. He said it looked normal, so they're not concerned about that. Took some blood work. That will come back in 7 to 10 days, and it will have the sex on it, which I'm really excited about. My husband and I have really been arguing about circumcision, and it's going to be a tough argument if we have a boy, because we really differ on that opinion on to circumcise or not to circumcise. My husband's a male, so I kind of wanted to default to him, but I work in healthcare, so I really want to make sure it's the healthiest decision for if, we do have a male. It's a hard decision. I don't want to have to make it. I just want to have a girl. It's easier. So we'll get that results back in 7 to 10 days. And I'm also wondering if we should do some type of gender reveal. The lab will come straight to my phone. It'll say, hey, this, you've got a new you have a new lab in your portal or whatever, and it will say like male or female. It'll say like the chromosomes and all that stuff. It'll also have any genetic abnormalities they find in the chromosomes. So if we did do some type of gender reveal, it would have to be like just a photo op, and like we would already know, or at least I would know. Or I could have somebody look at my labs and then do some type of gender reveal. It just seems like not my style. All the gender reveals I've looked at on YouTube and on Facebook, they're just not really my style. So I'm trying to figure out what is my style. Because really my style would be to wait until it's born. I think that's the coolest gender reveal possible, but I am not that patient. And neither is my husband, so I don't know. Hopefully I'll figure that out soon, because I have about 7 days till those labs come back, and I would like to find something. And my mom really wants me to do it in an exciting way. It's kind of totally her thing. You know, the whole popping a balloon, or I saw some scratch tickets that you can get that you'll scratch off like on the belly and it reveals like boy or girl. It just seems so girly and kind of cheesy to me. So I gotta find something that's not girly, because I'm not a girly girl. So I gotta find something that is more my style, still fun and cutesy, so my mom can, you know, put it in her scrapbook. But I don't know. I'm excited to find out what it is either way. Even if it is a boy, Luke and I will figure it out, and we will be totally happy, because boys are fun too. I just kind of really wish it's a girl. I'm starting to feel a little better. I still have a lot of food aversions, especially to meat. I haven't been able to eat pretty much any meat. Sometimes I can handle like beef jerky or chicken nuggets, like really processed meats, but definitely no chicken or fresh cooked meats. They make me nauseated even thinking about them. So hopefully that changes soon. I have been trying to incorporate beans and other protein sources into my diet, but it's hard. It's hard to incorporate when you're not eating meat for most of your meals. And I end up eating a lot of breads and cheeses, which I know isn't healthy, but hopefully this starts to subside soon. I'm still having insomnia, which is really hard working full-time and having insomnia, because before pregnancy I slept like 10 hours a night, and now I'm sleeping like maybe 6 hours a night, and it's just really draining. So that's all for now. 12-week ultrasound was amazing today. Everything looked great. The baby kind of wouldn't cooperate with the ultrasound tech, and she was getting pretty frustrated, but she's like, this happens. It just wouldn't turn on its side. It wanted to be lazy and lay there, or it would like turn really quickly and then lay back on its back and just lay there. It wouldn't position itself so she could actually get a good picture of its neck. So that's kind of frustrating, and maybe a clue into what kind of baby it will be, but that's alright. I kind of like strong-headed, independent people anyway. So I'll try to make more updates. I'll let you know how my gender reveal goes.